Hey guys, this is Nathan, and welcome back to TechNodeFirmaCraft. So, I have been spending a lot of time of late looking for ores, and I am really getting tired of searching for silver so that we can continue on in the quest book. So instead, we are just going to go ahead and go off on our own kind of quest chain. So what I want to do today is start getting into Forestry of Minecraft. Now, the first step for that, as far as I can tell, would be to get into some bees. So, the first thing that we need to do to get into our bees is to make a scoop, and I don't feel like searching for that. So, a scoop is made with sticks and wool. Well, wool is just a cloth crafted back into wool. So, we're going to go ahead and do that first, and then we're going to take our sticks and go ahead and make a scoop. Now the scoop allows us to break the hives that we find around the world. So I know that I have a hive up here, and so we're going to come up here, we're going to break this, and we're going to get the bees out of it. So from this we got a marshy queen, or a marshy princess, a marshy drone, and a mossy comb. So I'm going to have to be gathering up a lot of these, but this is the first step that we have to get going. Now, the next thing that we are going to need to do is we are going to need to start making some hives and things like that. Well, to do that, we need some pretty complicated machinery. So we'll go back to Forestry of Minecraft. So the first thing that we're going to need to build is a carpenter. The carpenter requires a sturdy casing. Well, the sturdy casing is made with bronze sheets and a steel hammer. I think it's just a steel hammer is the only thing that we can use here. Yep. So I'm going to have to make up some bronze sheets, and that's going to require some more smelting. So that's the first thing we need, but the carpenter needs power. So we have 3 engines here that come with Forestry of Minecraft. And the one that we're going to be looking at is the peat-fired engine. And this one requires copper gears, some copper sheets, the hammer, chisel, glass, and a piston. The piston, of course, requires redstone. Now, I do happen to have 1 piece of redstone. And I think I found this while killing a mob once. But we have 1 piece of redstone, so we will be able to make our peat-fired engine. And I have come across a lot of peat bogs as I've been exploring. And I guess to show you what I have found while exploring, we're going to pull up the map here. So I have been over in this area. You can see there's a straight line of things here. And actually, if we go into the underground view, nope, not going to show it. Wow, that really screwed things up. But there's a tunnel that runs from this graphite deposit all the way through past this bismuth deposit over here into this sphalerite and gold. This is in a cave system that I found clear out there on the end. So I've been looking for silver here and I haven't found it. I'd found a whole bunch of graphite, which is something that I was looking for terribly hard before, and now I've got tons of it. I found right here a rich sphalerite ore deposit. So I've been mining that. I brought back a whole bunch of the zinc, and then I found a whole bunch of other stuff, more osmium, coal. This was the path that I took, gypsum, kaolinite, coal, a whole bunch of stuff there, and I found some other stuff on the way back. But we're getting a fair amount of dots here on the screen, and I've been reading this is meant to be balanced for a multiplayer server, so it makes it rather difficult to find everything in a single player setting. But the other thing is I did get another pig. Unfortunately, they're both males, so that doesn't help me too much on breeding, and I'm going to come over here and kill this zombie before he becomes a problem. But so out and about there are peat logs, and also I found out that we can put our logs into these better barrels, so I've kind of cleaned up a little of that. I still need to grab that pile down there, and I should probably move all of these barrels over there. But so we have tons and tons of the Well, not in that one. It's in this one. Tons and tons of the rich sphalerite so that we can make a lot of zinc. But, yeah, we're going to be doing a little bit of crafting here, so I think I'm going to get a few things together, and we'll go ahead and craft all this stuff up. So I will see you guys in a little bit. Alright, so I think I've got most everything gathered up that we're going to be needing here for at least a little bit. So the first thing we need to do is make our sturdy casings. So let me just see here. So I got to thinking about it afterwards. We are going to need to make a centrifuge as well. So we're going to make 2 of these sturdy casings. So that requires our hammer, our steel hammer with our bronze sheets around the outside. Whoops, that's not a hammer, that's a scoop. So, oops, and I kind of screwed that up. Okay, so that'll give us 2 of our sturdy casings. So now, to make the carpenter, we need bronze ingots and glass around the sturdy casing. So we're going to go bronze ingots down each side, glass top and bottom, and our sturdy casing, we get our carpenter. So there is the first actual machine that we have built. So next up we need the centrifuge. Now this is going to be used for removing honey from combs. So for this we need copper. So I didn't grab any of that off the pile, and actually I have used a little bit here. So I'm going to have to go out and do some copper mining here in a little bit. So same thing again, just with copper instead of bronze on the outside. These are usually pretty simple machines to build. So now next up we need our engine to power these, and this one's going to be a little bit more complicated. First off, we're going to make our piston. This is a pretty standard recipe, pretty much all of you should know it. So yep, not much change there. So now we need to make a lightning strike, apparently. So now we need to make these copper gears. To make those, we need to make tin bushings. Now, tin bushings come from a tin sheet, the chisel, and the hammer. So I got 2 tin sheets, got our hammer and our chisel, and we'll make 4 of these bushings. Okay, now we need to make copper sheets, 2 bushings, and the hammer to make, or double sheets to make this, to make the gears. So there we go, there's our 2 gears. Now we need pretty much everything again. So we're going to have our 3 copper sheets across the top. We're going to have a piece of glass here, a copper gear on each side, piston, hammer, and chisel, and we get our peat-fired engine. So I don't think that I have any peat here right now, so we won't be able to try this out just yet, but I'm going to go ahead and set these down here somewhere. So I think right about here looks fine, so that will point out this way, and we're going to put our centrifuge on this first. And yep, I'm going to go and gather up some peat, and I'll be back when we're ready to fire up that engine. So guys, I'm back, and I got 12 stacks of peat, so this should last a little while. So if we just grab one of those, we look at the uses on this, we just do a shapeless crafting. One of these peat blocks will give us 4 peat, and I think we can use this in our engine here. So we'll toss this in here, and I think we need a redstone signal for that to turn on. So let's go ahead and make a lever real quick, and we'll just go ahead and put this on the back of the engine. So there we go. Now it's running, and we're only going to use one of those right now. So now it's complaining there's no fuel, but let's just see. We're putting out 10 RF a tick, and we are generating a little bit of heat, but occasionally it's indicating 20. But so now we're getting a little bit of power stored up in our centrifuge. So what we need that for, I have quite a few bees that I've already collected, and from a lot of the hives I've gotten combs. So we're just going to take some of these regular honeycombs and we're going to drop those in here. And so it should just spin these around. Oh, we're out of power. So that's no good. So this is going to be a bit of a problem. We're going to run out of power. We're going to put one more piece of fuel in there. And this, I think it should produce ash. And later on, the uses for this, if we get some propolis, ash, and 2 pieces of peat, we get the bituminous peat, and I'm not sure what that's going to do, but we can also put the 4 peat back together into whatever this is, and we can smelt peat directly into ash. I don't know why I would want to do that, because, yeah, there's not very much to be found, unless there's a way to make it that I don't know about. So our first comb gave us 1 honey drop. So the uses on the honey drops, we can make honeyed slices, which is really nice food. The glistering melons, we can use it for that. Nope, I guess we have more recipes here. A honey pot, stamps, I don't know why we'd want those. And that looks like it there. We can also use it in the carpenter, which is something we don't have yet. And we can make ionized water, or we can squeeze that and get liquid honey with a 5% chance of the propolis. And there's apparently an industrial squeezer as well. But so that's going to be what we're going to be doing with those honey drops. The beeswax, let's take a look at the uses on those. We can make the wax cast, which I'm not sure if we're going to be using any of those. Wax capsules. We can make candles, and I don't think those will burn out, which would be really nice. The scented paneling is something we're going to need later on when we get into the alvearies, but that will also require royal jelly, so that's going to be a little ways off, or we can use a silk wisp to make less candles. So we got a couple of things there, but this carpenter, we're going to need a few things there as well. And let me just see here real quick. I think there was one other block that we needed. I don't recall. But, yep, so we are now generating some power. We are running some machines, so this is pretty good. You know, we'll let this do what it needs to do, and I'm going to go ahead and centrifuge all of these. So I know that we can put a hopper going into this, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. So the parched comb, I don't think it's going to give us too much. But we'll just see what we get from each one. Now the next thing we need to do is build an apiary. Now, I'm not going to search around for that, so we are just going to look up the apiary. So the apiary takes an impregnated casing and some wood and slabs. And I think the slabs also are equivalent to the planks that we get, but the impregnated casing is logs in the carpenter. So this is what we're going to be using the carpenter for, and I have started collecting willow logs for this purpose because, well, quite frankly, I think the willow wood looks just absolutely ugly, but we get a huge amount of wood for every tree. So we're going to take a little of this, and we're going to set our pattern here. And, am I doing something wrong? That should work. Well, we'll just have to see. Maybe I need to get some power first. No recipe. Oh, we need some seed oil first. So, yeah, we'll just go ahead and pull that back out of there for now. So, I'm going to have to figure out how to get some seed oil, and I think that's going to require us to make a squeezer. So, we're just going to let this do its thing here for a little while. And let's look at the squeezer. So, the squeezer takes a sturdy casing and 10 ingots. Now this is going to be a problem because we are very low on tin. If we look here, tin is something that we were given for quests. We have enough to make 4 ingots currently. and we need 6 to make a squeezer. So once again, we've run into this problem of no ores. So I don't know, I'll kind of do a little thinking here, figure out what we can do, and I will be back in just a little bit. So I managed to find a vein of cassiterite. Unfortunately, it was poor, but there's not much of it left anymore. I've got a little bit in the wall over here, a tiny bit right there. As you can see, I have mined a huge amount of stuff here. Now, I've taken most everything of any value out of these chests, but I have quite a bit of tin that I picked up, so I think all of it is in this barrel right here. So if we drop this down here, we can see I have, I think it's 6 vessels full of poor cassiterite and then a whole bunch of cobblestone. So, yep, I should be able to do some work for a little while. And, yep, I'm gonna head back to the base. I'll meet you there, and hopefully we can get a little further on these forestry machines. So I just got back to the base, and we have some fruit to harvest here. So I already harvested some strawberries, and now I've got cherries all over the place, so I'm going to be harvesting this stuff up. This is great because I've kind of been running a little bit low on the fruit ends of things, so this is great. So I have a feeling from all of these trees, I mean, there is a lot of cherries here. We're probably going to get quite a bit of stuff. So I'm going to have to go through all of this, harvest up all of my fruit. And as you can tell, that might take a little while. So I already have more than a stack of cherries. That's pretty good if you ask me. So, yep. Got to get this taken care of because unfortunately this fruit won't last forever. So, get this done, and we'll take a look at these forestry machines here in just a second. So, right away, I think I'm going to try something a little different here. I'm going to grab 4 bronze ingots, and we are going to make this wrench from Forestry of Minecraft. Now, I want to see if we can turn the engine here. So, if we click on this, it doesn't look like it goes anywhere. If we shift click it, it doesn't do anything. So what exactly does this do? Shift right clicking does, or shift left clicking does nothing. Shift right clicking does nothing. Right click, left click, no. Well, that seems like it was just a waste of bronze, but oh, okay, so we can turn these machines. So, is it possibly just because we have this power source on there? Nope, it just seems like we can't turn the... Do we have to click on the top? Nope. Just seems like it doesn't work. So what I was wanting to try to do was see if we could pick up this engine and move it without, or turn it without having to move it. But I guess what we'll have to do, we'll grab that ash too. But so we are going to go ahead and make our squeezer now. So I'm going to have to grab 6 tin ingots. And that's kind of pricey still. And then we need, I think it was 2 pieces of glass. And we need to make a sturdy casing as well. So we're going to grab our bismuth bronze sheets, and we need the hammer here. So we'll grab our steel hammer, go ahead and surround that with our bismuth bronze sheets and get a sturdy casing. Okay, so now for the squeezer we need 2 pieces of glass, the sturdy casing, and the tin ingots. So we're going to put our tin ingots around here, the 2 pieces of glass, and the sturdy casing. There we go. Squeezer. So now we're going to set this right here next to the carpenter. And so the fuel or oil that we get out of this thing should go straight into the carpenter. So now we're going to go ahead and just throw our lever back on here. Guess I gotta be out of the trees to be able to do that. And then we're just gonna grab a little bit more peat and drop this into the engine. So I was saying before that we can squeeze the industrial hemp seeds. So each one of those gives us, I think it's 20 millibuckets, so it's going to take quite a bit of it. But we do have quite a few of these, and they grow incredibly profusely. So we're going to go ahead and just take a couple of stacks of these and set them down here into the squeezer and let it do its business. So if we drop these in here, we'll see fairly rapidly we'll be getting... Well, no, we're out of power already. But we will get some oil, and it should be going into the carpenter, I hope. So, no, it's not. Well, that kind of stinks. I'm not entirely sure how to pull that out of there. So, we're going to have to try to figure out how to get that seed oil out of the squeezer and into the carpenter so that we can start making our impregnated sticks and things like that, because now the next thing we need is our apiaries. And the apiary requires the impregnated casing, which is the logs around with the seed oil. We only need 250 millibuckets of seed oil, so really we need to get this in here, and I don't know if possibly rotating the machine will do that. I have no idea. So I'll just kind of play around with this, see what I can do. There's got to be a way to get it out of there. But, yep, I'll see what I can figure out, and I'll be right back. So I had to mess around for a little bit in a creative world to figure this out, but it would appear there are no pipes that I can use to move this seed oil directly from the squeezer into the carpenter. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to make some wax capsules. Now, thankfully, we did get a little bit of beeswax from the honeycombs, and so we can do this. But all that we have to do is take, I think it's 3 wax, and it makes 2 wax capsules. Now, these are not reusable, which kind of stinks. But when we get a full bucket of seed oil, it will fill one of these wax capsules. So that's going to take a little while, especially considering how little power I have to work on this. So I'm going to have to let that sit for a little bit, get a little bit of seed oil, and then we can come over here and start making our impregnated casings so that we can start working with our bees. So, like I was saying, you know, this willow wood really looks ugly, but these trees are absolute gold mines for forestry of Minecraft, because first off, breaking the leaves with my shears, I get tons of sticks, and since these trees have an absolute huge abundance of leaves, we get tons of sticks as well as tons of saplings. Now, I have gone through just a few trees here. I also did some of the white cedar, and I think that one was elm? No, maple, okay. So we got some white cedar and some maple saplings, but we got huge amounts of the willow saplings. So we're never going to run out of saplings on these trees. But also they give tremendous amounts of logs, which of course is what we need for making our beehives and everything else basically. So I have gotten one impregnated casing put together here, and I was letting this machine run, and I found out, unfortunately, much the same as it is right now, when it can't work, it still keeps using power. So, yeah, that's unfortunate, but we have 2 impregnated casings now, and I'm just going to go ahead and throw the rest of these logs in here. And, what's that? Yeah, that thing discharged its ash into the carpenter. That's interesting. But so now we can finally move on to making our apiaries. So the apiary here is made with some slabs and planks and the impregnated casing. So I'm going to go ahead and use the willow wood again for this, and I'm just going to make a whole stack of lumber, well, everything into lumber, and we're going to make 32 willow planks. Now I think there's no difference in... Okay, we do have to use the saw. That's unfortunate, but we'll go ahead and make a couple of recipes of that. Does it require a steel saw, maybe? Bronze saw, wrought iron. It looks like my copper saw just won't quite do it, or something. Interesting. So we'll go ahead and grab the steel saw, and we'll get this done. Any way you look at it, we'll make it work. So this should be it. No? Apparently we can't make willow wood planks. Well, that's unfortunate. Or half slabs. That's unfortunate. So I know we can make oak, so I don't have one for oak over here, so I gotta go in my charcoal pit. So we're gonna go ahead and make some lumber again, or yeah, we're gonna be making planks, and then we'll go ahead and make what we can here, and we'll just see, will this work? No. Is there something I'm missing here? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. According to that, that should work. Now, is that a pressure plate? Yes. So how do we go about making half slabs then? Well, this is a bit of a problem, because that sure looks like... Oh, that's fireproof. Oh, do we have to get fireproof? Oh, geez. How do we get fireproof wood? We need a thermionic fabricator. Oh my gosh. And the rabbit hole continues. So I guess we won't get to make our apiaries today. I didn't even notice those were... No. We can use lumber. Well, we'll try that then. So to make lumber back from our planks, if you haven't seen this, you just, you know, use the saw again on them. So let's try this, and then we need our... Yep, there we go. Huh. Well, that is weird, but we're going to go ahead and make our 2 apiaries, and we're going to have a lot of stuff in our inventory that we can't deal with. So we're just going to dump this in a chest here. The saplings, I suppose, and the... There we go. So now to finally start getting into our bees, I'm just going to set these down right here for now. And we're just going to set these down, and we need to grab a princess and a drone. So I'm going to pure breed some of these first. So I think the tropical might give a negative effect, but I'm not sure. But we just click in our princess and our drone, they will breed and make a queen, and after an amount of time, oh, we have no flowers. So I believe these guys need vines for flowers, so we're going to go ahead. I know that the meadows will work. These guys need just regular flowers, and I might have to grab some, but it will let us know if we have our temperature is correct and things like that. I can't quite grab food stuff. Okay. But anyway, the flowers, I think we can just come over here and grab some of our flowers from the Mega Plant Pack. I'm assuming these will work. And these are actually TerraFirmaCraft flowers. So once the bees start working, they will also start making flowers as well. So I'm going to drop down these flowers here, and we'll see if this will work. Yeah, I didn't think that I grabbed that many. So is this going to work, or are we going to have to get something else? looks like we're probably going to have to get something else. Let's try, nope. So I may have to go looking around a little bit for some flowers. I know that I've seen some vanilla flowers around. But, yep, we're going to be breeding bees now. And we should get that taken care of. But I do think this is probably going to be it for the episode. So I want to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to give a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you next time. Bye!